Hey everyone, Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Hope you guys are having a great start to your week. We have the Monday market report for the week ending August 11, 2024. My goodness, what a week can change everything. I am personally, a little bit lost for words, but yeah, I mean, we had a relatively quiet last week, and that's because, the ANA show is really taken center stage, for the market, for their overall hobby in general, and not to mention everything going on with the precious metals market. And there's a lot of juggling of multiple different balls going on at the same time here. Now we're back with a really action-packed kind of week of realized sales. Lincoln Cents were a little bit quiet last week. They've come back with a friggin' vengeance, and you just have to see to believe what we have here for you this week. Is this indicative of any sort of future kind of swing in the market? I don't know. Me personally, I don't think so. I think the market is just in a really good place right now, and some of the marquee pieces that registry set people, that big time collectors are looking for, they're kind of coming into the market at just the right time. Is it a scary scare kind of like let's cash out and sell all of the big banging coins kind of scenario that we have going on right here to free up money and capital for some people and collectors? They're just getting out of some of the bigger pieces. I don't know. To see a lot of five-figure coins in one week is kind of scary, but it's not out of the norm, especially coming off of one of the bigger coin shows nationally. It's very interesting to see. So if this is your first time here, we're going to delve into the modern, I would say post 1900 as far as date is concerned, modern graded coins to have sold here in the last 7 days. And again, a very nice week we have here for you. Can't wait to share these with you. All right, so before we get into it, we do have a little whatnot notification for you guys. I do sell on this platform. It's one of my favorite platforms to not only sell on, but to also buy from as well. If you're into the live auction format that is kind of taking the market by storm, and everybody's talking about whatnot, they're like one of the biggest ones out there. Now is your chance. All right. Few things going on here. Number one, we have spectacular, awesome, amazing shows every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're even looking to add more shows all throughout the week as we head into the holiday season. So that's something to be a part of. In addition, we also have our big holiday giveaway stream, like we do every year, right after Thanksgiving. All right, we did it last year on Whatnot, and it went off the rails. It was awesome. It was an incredible time to be a part of not only Whatnot but also the Blue Ridge Silverhound family. So make sure you're joined up. Use the referral link that I have down below in either the description box or pinned into the comment section. Grab yourself $15 in store credit that you could use right away if you're a brand new signee. All right, and then also on another note, we also have Whatnot. They are looking for new people to sell on the platform. All right, so sign up today. I also have another referral link for that as well. And it's fantastic. A lot of people love it. I've personally helped out a few of the newer signers to get started and help promote them as well, and they're taking off. They're doing really well. All right, so there's an opportunity to buy, opportunity to sell, really add into your mix of different areas where you are making that supplemental income work for you. Whatnot is one of those platforms that's just going to continually grow in time. All right, so come check things out there. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in to some of the selections. Again, all of these courtesy of greatcollections.com. Their auctions end every Sunday, and they are kind of the premier go-to auction site right now. As far as an auction house is concerned, they are right up there with the registry set coins. So a lot of people are kind of going and gravitating toward Great Collections for a lot of the premier consignments. Starting things off here, one of my favorite varieties, the 1960 D over D, and it's also a double to die as well. They actually call this a small over large date, but the FS 101 501 combo variety, recognized by the Cherry Pickers Guide, is continuing to kind of grow at a pace that we're beginning to take notice of it. And that's important. You know, it used to be that about 24 months ago, we've noticed coins like the 83 DDR, the 84 doubled ear. Those are two coins that we saw just right out of nowhere, just really explode into the marketplace. And those particular coins are a little bit more out of reach for more of the casual collector. They're $100+ coins, and they go a lot higher than that. Could we see the 60 D over D small over large day variety follow suit? It kind of looks like it's heading in that direction. Now we have an NGC graded 67 example here. This one ended at $1,181.25. I could only imagine that maybe if this coin were in PCGS plastic, it would just be a more impactful market piece. But, you know, you kind of have to pick and choose who you feel is the best grading company to use to possibly maybe get a little bit of a bump. You know, some would say that NGC grades a little bit more lighter than PCGS does. You know, they're a little bit more strict. That remains to be seen. You know, this could possibly be a 67 crossover through PCGS, but you know, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not one to personally speculate on if a certain coin would grade better with one company over the other. So a nearly $1,200 sale here on this one, kind of a nice market indicator. We know that lesser graded examples, raw examples, are kind of hitting in that $60 to $100 range if you're going to buy one raw. But graded ones is certainly, this is where the market is going to be leaning towards for the higher echelon of pieces. The next one that we have here, this is where kind of things kind of go off the rails because there's just going to be one after another. And these are all like incredibly commendated Lincoln Wheat cents, minted into the hundreds of millions. It's quite remarkable to see multiple pieces that's not part of the Stuart Blake collection kind of sell in one shot or one weekend. 57, Philly. This is a Philadelphia minted piece here. This one is a PCGS Mint State 67 plus full red example. And it's CAC certed as well. You know, when you have like an unbelievably incredible high-end grade that is top of the mark, it's a top pop coin, and then you have a company like CAC comes in and says, yup, that is on par with what the grade is on the label. Boy, oh boy, things really get interesting. All right, so this one right here, contrary to popular belief, ended up selling for $17,437.50. You know, if you would tell me, Sean Blue Ridge, is this an investable coin? You know, I'm kind of like on the fence with these things because anything registry set, you have to take into consideration that there will always be one better. Could there be a 68 grade in the future? And could CAC put their stamp of approval on that coin? You know, we have to think about things like that because there's always going to be that one coin that exists somewhere out in the world that could possibly beat this one. And then it's going to be all over. You know, it's always about what's trendy, what's the highest. That's part of the chase. And that's what really gets off a lot of these registry set people, is the prospect that the next big one is going to be on the horizon. So today, they're willing to spend over $17,000, which today it's an unfathomable amount of money, considering that a lot of people are really watching their pennies, literally, you know. But, you know, things like this, yeah, I mean, it's not every day that we do see it, but always on the back of your mind when it comes to the registry set market that there will always be one better. We have to kind of think about that. And that's why these particular coins, I see, in my opinion, are kind of like hot potatoes. Man, you got to get them out of your hands and pass them on to the next person. Same with this one here, a 53D. Now, these are generally better well struck, and they have the best luster. You know, mostly Denver and San Francisco coins of the 50s are much more presentable, albeit I think the 57 looks a shade better than this one, even though the grade's the same. 67 plus red, CAC on the cert, $7,087.50. All right, which is 10 grand less than that Philadelphia coin, even though the grade is the same and it's also got the CAC. So that tells us that the Denver and San Francisco coins are a lot better in quality, and there are a lot more at the highest level. All right, and that justifies kind of that big price gap. 43. All right, so we're already here at 43. This one right here is not as big of a coin, you know, compared to a few more that we're going to talk about. But everybody is sweating the D over D FS 501 variety, right? That's an incredibly expensive coin. If we were talking about the FS 501 here on this one in a 66 grade, that's a few $1,000s. However, we have, and you'll notice on the slab label provided by NGC, a VP002, which is a lesser variety. It's actually RPM number 2, I guess, if I were going to venture a guess on this one. So it's a little bit lesser of a repunch mint mark. The FS501 you could see with the naked eye off of these photos, but obviously that's not what we're talking about here. So NGC grades their Variety Plus coins as kind of like the next tier of RPMs. They're not recognized by the Cherry Pickers Guide, nor are they in the Red Book, things like that. So consider these the less desirable varieties, but still, with something like this, it ended at $1,451.25. You know, again, 66 is not that phenomenal of a grade on a non-variety piece, and it's probably worth less than $100 by a huge stretch. But you know, when you come to variety, you know, varieties at these particular kind of like mid-range grade levels can make a large impact on the value. 41S, okay, we've talked about 41S, we've talked about 40S as well. They're kind of like one and the same quality-wise. This is a magnificent coin. The only thing missing is that CAC stamp of approval. It's a Mint State 68 red. Obviously, it's going to be in that registry set. Boy, a few dollars shy of 10 grand here. $9,911.25 on the final hammer. And again, you know, always keep in mind that there could possibly be that next coin that's just a little bit better than this. Or that next coin that is a 68 red but has a CAC sticker on it will enhance the value by many thousands of dollars. We also have a 38S, same verse as the first. This one here in a 68 red, sans any CAC certification of that sort. Another big one here, $11,813.62. Wild sale. Not a particularly rare date either to find one in a BU red if you're out there at a coin show. And I know there's a lot of coin shows that's been happening here through the last like 2 months. You know, you can find these in a bargain bin for under $5. All right, so are you gonna, you know, put on your cherry picking glasses and look for one that's a lot cleaner and a great candidate for the top end grade? You know, that's still a thing out there, and people do it on a constant weekly basis. All right, 37, again, a very pretty coin. Is 68 red. Seems to be the level that you need to be at for these things to get out of hand and out of control. That's where the rich money really comes into play here. Another top grade. Again, CAC sticker, man. If that thing was on this, we'd be talking like a world record kind of like sale. $15,187.50 on the final price on this one. Man, some scary prices, you know. It's like a house of cards kind of scenario here, and you know, it works out for today, and it's a very impressive amount of press that we're covering on these coins, but all it takes is one. All it takes is one. And then one that I think it just fits right outside the realm of the previous coins. This is a key date, all right? Call it semi-key, call it key, whatever. full red 24Ds just simply does not exist on any kind of like normal regular level. It's not like you could walk into a coin shop and say, oh, excuse me, sir, can I have a 24D in mint state, full red or red brown? Heck no. These things are really a needle in a haystack. You know, this one right here is a 65 red, and compared to previous grades on the other coins we had just covered, it seems very pedestrian. You know, that's a word that I've used a number of times talking about some of these later teens, 1920s coins that traditionally nobody ever saved at the highest rate of preservation. So this one right here, another banger, $14,625. You know, if you put your hand right over the date, you wouldn't think it'd be a $14,000 coin, but you know, it's that date right there. And a 26S, another big impactful one. If it, in a 65 red, that'd be over 10 grand. You know, another lower mintage piece that really was not saved. There you go, one of the biggest coins of the week. And yeah, I mean, if it wasn't enough, we also have to sneak in this one. Now, we did see a 1909 SVDB that sold for over 10 grand that I didn't cover. That's like naturally a baked in rarity right there. You know, that's going to sell for a lot of money, you know, regardless of grade. 1908 S mint mark on the reverse. First year of an actual physical mint mark on any cent coin. We have one here in a 67 red PCGS label. Wow. I mean, you know, Indian Head Cents full red. You know, I've learned to appreciate this more within the last 10 years. Okay. And so have a lot of other people. And they've opened up their checkbooks and their wallets and their, you know, their brokerage accounts and everything else to be able to afford one of these things. Now, full red, first year, 1908S. So granted, it's not an 09S Indian Head Cent. So this one right here, $18,127.27. My goodness, what a great and beautiful coin. The nickels we could say is kind of more of a footnote of this week. Now we have a 1962 Jefferson nickel graded by NGC into 67, 5 full steps. It's one of those dates that's notorious for not having a very good strike. So finding any one of them with a full steps is kind of important, you know. But I think there have been more 62s and 64s with full steps that we've seen here in recent memory than some of the other dates, you know, that get really hairy, like a 69S or a 68D or S, you know, things of that nature. So this one right here, $1,406.25, a really nice sale on a coin that, you know, generally we don't think to, you know, look twice at. 43D, any Silver War nickel, nice strike, damn near perfect. 68 with 5 full steps by NGC. It's got that QA sticker, which is very similar to CAC on the modern kind of side of things. Even got a little bit of personality in the toning and color and striations on both sides of the coin. You know, this one, I like it for what it is. A very original, undisturbed, uncleaned, undipped piece. A real time capsule of sorts. $1,887.75. And we do have a couple Buffaloes. And yeah, how about a 38D over D? Now, since we're on the topic of varieties here this week, we had a few very nice varieties. There are over mint marks and repunch mint marks to be found on a 38. So just want to let you know. And this one is even visible to the naked eye off of the photos that's provided by Great Collections. Now, 38Ds, as you guys know, final year of the Buffalo, and they only made them in Denver for the year, is the kind of the crossover coin to the Jefferson nickel. So they produced Buffaloes and Jeffersons on the same year, bearing the same date. People recognize that this is going to be the last hurrah of the Buffalo nickel design. A lot of them were saved in mid-state. So there are actually rumored to be many rolls out there still to be found of natural, just full BU coins. And there are varieties to speak of. So if you do find one, it probably would be worth sending out. So where'd we land on this one? How about $1,746 on the final here? And the over mid mark obviously is the bigger chase out of these, but do not ignore the RPMs. There's a few great ones. 1930, just some basic run-of-the-mill Philly coin here. Still looks to be in pretty good shape. And the luster is, I would say, average for the date. 67 grade CAC certed as well. How about $4,510.12? A little bit of a note, there was little pockets of like yellow toning on the reverse, and that really lend to a little bit better eye appeal for coins that obviously are a little bit more, I guess, accessible at higher grades. Anything from the 30s with a P mint mark or no P mint mark, but we do know that they're minted in Philly, obviously are going to be an easier catch compared to any Denver or San Francisco coin of the same decade. And then one here, this is more of a classic case of, grade in a way matters, but it doesn't as long as it's a legit non-details coin. The 1918 over 7D is one of the premier varieties of the 20th century. And if you find one where you can actually read the date, that's aces and spades right there all day long. So this one, as you can tell, not the greatest grade in VG10. It also has a CAC sticker. They agree with the grade, and it's just an awesome, original piece. This thing has been through thousands of hands. I'm like, it went from one person to another, and for every time it got passed up, they're giving away hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars here. So this one sold for $1,620. Always one to be on the lookout for if you go out, if you purchased that old kind of undiscovered lot of Buffalo nickels. You're gonna have a heck of a field day. There's a lot to find in there. This one kind of snuck in under the radar, kind of a oddball inclusion, A 77 Roosevelt dime, NGC graded 68 full torch. Now, it's a little bit tougher than it looks. It does have a little bit of original toning, a little bit kind of more of a light gold on the reverse. You have little kind of swaths of yellow and steel blue and a little bit of pink or rose or pink or whatever on the obverse there. Beautiful coin, okay? Copper nickel clad pieces don't typically tone that well. This one is going to end up in some registry set somewhere, and because of that, it ended up selling for $1,363.63. All right, a few more dimes. 51. This is a proof coin right here, okay? It's quite tough, too. A 51 proof set is hundreds of dollars, so you got to make sure that if you're cherry picking for a coin with a deep cameo contrast, again, that's that heavy white frost on the devices, offset by just incredibly mirrored fields. A 51 is a great set because while this one is a 67 deep cameo, the coins are expensive, going all the way back to about mint state 65. For example, this one here sold on Sunday night for $2,137.50. But keep in mind, let's say if you don't hit a 67, it's not the end of the world. This coin in a proof 65 deep cameo is a $1,200 coin. It's a coin that, as long as you have that DCAM designation, it has quite a bit of a safety net. There's like a safety net and another one that's just continuously stacked on top of each other. And that's really awesome to see. It's really awesome to see a coin that has a wide kind of berth of collectability and value, throughout a long range of various grades. So this is one of my favorites based off of that premise. 43 Mercury. Now, we didn't have much in the way of dimes, but I chose this one out of the few that are very newsworthy this week. Mid-State 68 full bands. It's a common date, but keep in mind the originality of the toning, which is quite stunning on this, for it not to be a full coverage piece. And a blast white reverse. This one was probably like a roll ender, I would speculate, just based off of what I'm seeing here on this one. Great looking coin, and even at this level for a very common date, very pricey. $3,521.25. Okay, so we've gotten to the coin where a lot of people are talking about it. Damn, it's close. It's one grade point away from a 70. So let's talk about what could possibly keep this coin from hitting a 70. All right. And a coin of this age going back 50 plus years, and we're looking at, just overall quality, right? The 60s wasn't the best quality. This one right here somehow escaped every measure of what could possibly go wrong. The Murphy's Law did not apply to this coin. Um, and, I don't know. Looking at it up close, there's very little wrong with it to keep it from a 70, but I think the uh, the idea that maybe the strike, if it was just a little bit stronger and not as mushy, would probably get a 70 through NGC. Now, this coin in PCGS probably won't be a 69. They'll probably see it as a 68. And that's just off of like, um, the preferences of like each company and how they kind of like determine the closeness, because one will covet the strike a little bit more than the other, and that's kind of the thing that we've seen in recent years coming from both companies, and it's like, again, we're kind of speculating, okay, why does one company see it as 68, another one as 69? Now, this one is not graded by PCGS. They might see it as a 69, you know but when we get up to the very edge, like the end of the world, if the world was like a cube and there was actually an edge to it, the conversation would be at the edge, like 69, 70. What's the differentiator? So this one right here, the price is strong. It's long and strong. $8,156.25. I mean, that's a given. This could be an expensive coin regardless. Um, but yeah, 70 in this thing would break the internet, probably in a completely different way than we would imagine, right? So I don't know. It could be one that's a little bit better graded, but this might be the capper. I don't know. So as long as 70 is always going to be the perfect grade, we have to assume that every single coin in existence has room to grow. This is yet again another one. 51D, a beautiful coin. Very nice blast white, little pockets and hints of like, a little bit of toning. Nothing that's wildly offensive. I don't think anyone would go out of their way to dip this thing. But a 68 grade, still very important. Registry coin all the way. $6,198.75 on this one. And we have a couple of just really big, kind of out of this world Standing Liberty quarters. 29S. I mean, yeah, this one's awesome. For it being an accessible date, if you're looking for like a 64 or 65 grade full head, you could get one of these for about $500 or less. I mean, they're really awesome. They look great. You're not tapping into the much rarer dates like 21s and 19s and all the sorts. So 67 plus full head. This is kind of like the top end of the mark here. $12,943.23. Great collections. Does notate a little bit of toning on this one. More evident on the reverse, on the right side of the coin, than anything else. And then finally, the last one I'm happy to talk about because, we all love this coin. 1917 Philly Standing Liberty quarter, type 1. It's doesn't have the 3 starts on the reverse. It's got Lady Liberty with the exposed chest area. It's got the different rivets on the shield. All the great stuff. I mean, this is a numismatic classic right here. 67 plus full head, CAC. They actually freaking agreed on the grade on this one. And, when you put all of those things together, we have a coin here that's sold for $30,488.62 today, or yesterday. Yeah, I mean, wow. That is one heck of a way to end the Monday Market Report. Again, the information provided in this video is for educational use only, not financial advice. Please always collect and or grade your coins responsibly. And that's it, guys. I am out of here. Have a great rest of your Monday. We will be back on this evening with a live coin Q&A show, which will start probably at 5:30 Pacific. So be there as we talk about some pretty big varieties and things that people have found out in the wild. That is the place. And yeah, you have just watched a Monday Market Report. I hope you guys have a great Monday and a great rest of your week. We will be back with more outstanding numismatic content and market news that will make your head spin. So you guys take care, and I will see you guys on the next video.